Hi guys, this is Vineet and I welcome you to this video. Today's video topic is string and binary data types in SQL Server, and this is part 3 of this video series. If you haven't watched the previous two parts of this video, I would highly urge you to please go ahead and do so right away before you can start off with this part. Watch the part 1 and the part 2, then continue with this part. And guys, if you are new to this channel or if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, I would recommend you to please go ahead and do so. There's a subscribe button coming below this video. Click on that subscribe button. It will give you a bell icon. Click on that bell icon, select all notifications to get notifications regarding all my future and upcoming videos, including the videos I'm making on data types these days. So after I will be done with the string and binary data types, I will continue with the data type section. So it's about to finish. It will take hardly one or two more parts to cover the string and binary data types section. And once this is covered, I will talk in general about the data types and various other items like constants, conversions, and precedence, etc. So stay in tune. If you want to get timely notifications, do subscribe. I'm giving you 5 seconds. Please go ahead and subscribe right away. So guys, I hope you must have subscribed by now. Let me take you to notes directly, and yeah, let's study conversion of character data today. Guys, in case you want to make any donations or offerings to us via UPI, then you may scan the code on the right hand side to make the payment. You can use any of the UPI based apps like Google Pay or Phone Pay. So there's a code given on the right hand side which is my GPay code. You can scan that code using any of your UPI apps and make payments to us, basically to support our channel. Else the other way, if you want to make donations, is to go to the following link, which is a topmate.io link. You can type this link as is in your browser like Google Chrome or Edge and press enter. After that it will take you to my topmate.io page. Through that page you can make donations to us as well. And also guys, in case you want to contact us, you can contact us on my email address, which is vermavane@gmail.com. You can contact us for the below requirements which are given here on the right hand side. In case you need a copy of notes for any of the topics discussed during the video, you can send me an email on my email address. A nominal fee has to be paid if you want to obtain notes for any particular topic. It depends upon how lengthy the notes are. The fee will be decided according to that. So in case you need the copy of the notes, do send me an email on my email address. The other requirement for which you can contact me is to schedule one-on-one calls with me, which will be paid calls. So in case you want to schedule one-on-one calls with me, you can send an email to me so that I will help you in scheduling one of the calls. And in case you want to get SQL Server Coaching, you can also contact me on my email address. Some of the other requirements are if you need coaching on any particular SQL topic, or if you need some analysis of Transact-SQL code, or if you want to collaborate for any content creation or brand promotion, you can definitely send us an email on my email address and I will respond back to you. In our earlier video, what we had covered is we had covered about the Char and Varchar data types, and we talked about its syntax and usage. Today we are going to cover the same topic, the Char and Varchar data types, but today we will talk about the conversion of character data specifically. So let's start. When character expressions are converted to a character data type of different size. So here we are talking about the conversions within the character data, basically data type of a different data size. So if we are doing some conversions within the character data, like we are converting char to varchar, we are talking about those. So if we are trying to convert to a character data type of a different size, values that are too long for the new data type are truncated. So anything which is big for a destination type will definitely get truncated. Now there is one more data type which is called unique identifier. This type is considered as character type as well. So unique identifier is a character data type for the purposes of conversion from a character expression. Alright, and so is the subject to the truncation for converting to a character type. So I will be discussing some examples shortly, so stay in tune. I do cover some demos in this video. Now let's continue with the theory part. So code page translation. So earlier we talked about each of the collation has its own code page. So we have a concept called code page translation that are supported for char and varchar data types, but for not for the text data types. So code page translation only happens for the char and varchar data type, and the code page translations are not supported for the text data types. Now, with the early versions of SQL Server, data loss during the page code page translation is not reported. So, if we're talking about the early versions of SQL Server, any code page translation and any data loss occurring during those code page translation were not reported. Now, let's talk about character expressions that are being converted to an approximate numeric data type. So, earlier we talked about the approximate data types, which are like float. Float is an approximate data type, so we don't generally recommend its usage. Float and real are approximate data types, and here we are talking about the character expression that are being converted to an approximate numeric data type like float and real, right? So if such a conversion is happening, the conversion will include the optional exponential notation. So if we are trying to convert a character expression to approximate numeric data type like real and float, this will include the optional exponential notation. Now the notation is a lowercase e or uppercase e followed by a optional plus or minus sign and then a number. We will talk about them later, or maybe you can watch my early videos for approximate data types where I have covered on the real and float data types. Now let's talk about character expressions that are being converted to an exact numeric data types. So exact numeric data types are like decimal. Decimal is one of the exact numeric data types. So character expressions that are being converted to exact numeric data types must consist of digits and a decimal point. So this is the prerequisite. So if we are trying to convert any character expression to exact numeric data type, that expression should include digits as well as the decimal point and an optional plus or minus sign as well, right? As we have indicated here, optional plus and minus sign is also required, and not a required, but it's optional. You can put it or you cannot put it, but decimal and dates are the requirements for inside the character expression to get converted into the exact numeric data type. Now leading blanks are ignored. Comma separators such as thousand separator like given in this figure, any leading blanks or commas etc. are not allowed in the string. So we should not have these commas etc. in the character string if we are trying to convert it into a exact numeric data type. Let's talk about character expressions that are being converted to money or small money data types. These expression can also include an optional decimal point and a dollar sign as well. So we can include the currency symbol as well inside the character expressions that we are converting into money or small money data type. Comma separators, like mentioned in this expression, are allowed if we are converting to money or small money. Now, when an empty string gets converted to an integer, its value becomes 0. So whenever we try to convert an empty string, which is a string within single quotes and nothing is specified within the single quotes, that is considered as empty string. And if we are trying to convert that empty string into integer value, it automatically becomes 0. Now, when an empty string gets converted to a date, so if we're trying to convert an empty string into a date, its value becomes the date, which is 1900-0101. Now, let me take you through some demos, which are these. So give me a second. Let me continue with the first demo. Now, first demo discuss about showing you the default value of n when used in a variable declaration. So here we will show you the value of n when it is used in the variable declaration. In our earlier videos, we have talked about what the value of n will take, what will be the automatic value of n when it is used in a variable declaration, or the default value. If we don't specify any value for n, what will be the default value of n? Ideally, it's 1, as we discussed in our earlier videos. If you haven't watched the part 2 of this video series, please go ahead and do so. Right now, I will just show you the practical to print out the default value of n if nothing is specified for n in a T-SQL statements. Now I've just triggered SQL Server. I will write out some code. You may also trigger the same and write the code along with me if you want. So SQL Server is being triggered. I'm waiting for it to launch. Alright, we are inside SQL Server. Let's connect to the default instance of SQL Server. Let's trigger a new query. You don't need to select any database. By default, it takes master as the database. So that's fine. We are not touching any databases here. So we are fine. I've just triggered a new query using a new query button. And if you see, the default database taken is master. Now, let me declare some variables over here. So for that, you need to type the declare statement. Let's declare the variable. Let's name it my variable. And declare it as the varchar or variable character. And here we have not specified the value of n, or we have not specified max within the bracket. So this varchar data type takes two parameters, either of two parameters. Either you specify the value of n, or you can either specify max within the brackets. But in this declaration, I'm not specifying anything. I'm just taking varchar, and I'm specifying the value of abc. So I need to put equal to sign because we are doing assignment. So I'm declaring this variable without the value of n and assigning a value abc to it, right? Terminate the statement with semicolon. Let's do another declaration using the declare statement, and let's take another variable. Let's call it my next variable. So my next variable is declare, and let me declare it as char without giving any arguments, without giving any parameters or value of n over there. So let's initialize this variable with the same content abc. So under both the cases, the default value of n assumes to be 1 for variable declaration purposes. So ideally, if we store the string abc into this, it will just store a, because the value of n is 1 over here. And same for char, it will only store a in both the variables. Now let me show you this. Let's try to print the value of n. So let's do a select statement, and we can print both the variables. So basically, we don't want to print the value of variables. So if I try to print the value of variables, it will just give a and a for both the variables. I can show you that. So if you copy that and paste it here, right, and paste it here, what these variable will store is, it will just store the value a, because the default value of n is 1, right? So let's execute this statement, and if I execute the statement, one second, let's execute the complete statement. You will see a is stored in both the my variable and my next variable. Now, what if we want to print the length of these variables, like how much data or how much characters it has stored? So that can be printed by using there's a function called data length, through which you can print the data length of the variable. So keep this function in mind. There's a data length variable, not variable, but it's a function. Now it takes variable as the argument. So let's pick up first variable, put that as an argument to this function, and let's use the same function data length. Let's use this and put another variable, my next variable, within the function, right? So what these functions will do, these functions will print the data length of the variable, because only one character is being stored inside this variable. The data length of this variable will be 1, and similarly for this variable it will be 1 as well. So if you want to print that data length, you can use the data length function. So let's try to execute these three statements together. What we will get as output is 1 and 1 in two separate columns. So let's execute. So here you see we got 1 and 1 in two separate columns, which is the length of each variables as per the data stored inside them. So we are done with our first demo where we have printed the default value of n. So this is the default value of n, right? By default, it's take the value of n as 1. Now let me take you through another demo. Here I will show you the default value of n when the varchar is used with the cast and convert function. So earlier we have studied that the value of n will be 30, right? If it is used inside cast or convert function, and if we don't specify any value of n, it will automatically take the default value of n as 30. So let me show that to you via the demo. So let's rub off this. Let's try to take some other variables. Let's rub off these statements, remove them. Let's clear the screen and let's declare a variable quickly. So declare a variable with the name my variable over here. So this is a variable and let's declare it as of type varchar. And let's specify the value of n as 40, which means 40 bytes. We are declaring variable data type as variable character with the value of n equal to 40, which means 40 bytes of storage, right? Now let's try to store some string within this variable. So that can be done using the set statement. You need to specify the variable over here and put an equal to sign, and you can put a string. So let me write a string which is longer than like 30 characters. So let me type this string is longer than 30 characters. Yeah, so you can count down the characters as well if you like, but yeah, this string is obviously longer than the 30 characters. So let me terminate the statement properly using semicolon. All right, string is terminated. This variable is declared as 40 bytes length, and we are trying to store a string which is longer than the 30 characters. Now let me try to print some items. So let's use the select statement, and here I'm using the cast function, and let's try to print this variable, which should print this string, right? So basically we are trying to convert this string, which is longer than 30 characters. We are trying to convert it using the cast function, and we are converting it into varchar, right? So here I'm not specifying the value of n in this cast function, right? So by default, if we don't specify the value of n with the varchar, what it does is it assumes the value of n to be 30. So it will print the 30 characters. Let me show you this statement quickly. So let's see what will get printed. Let's terminate this statement with semicolon as well. Let's try to see what it prints. So what it has printed, the string is longer than thi. So anything above 30 character got truncated because the value of this variable is now getting stored into the n equal to 30 in 30 bytes of storage. So it has truncated the text therefore. But yeah, if you simply print the variable, if you don't do any conversion like this, let's use select and just print the variable. I think it will print the complete text, right? So it has even not printed the complete text. It has printed the 40 bytes of data, whatever is stored inside the 40 bytes of data as per the value of n. It has printed that. But yeah, let me remove this statement. So if we execute this statement with the casting of this variable into varchar where n is equal to 30. So so the number of characters which can be stored in the 30 bytes of data will get printed. So that is an example. So inside 30 bytes of varchar, only this much string can be stored. So that is what it has printed. Now let me print something more. So let's try to print the data length. We just used this function in our previous video. Let's try to print the data length, and let's use the function here, which basically outputs this string. Let me take the length of the string, what it prints. Ideally, it should print 30, right? Because the value of n is 30. So data length should print 30. Let me put the bracket to close this function. And let's take the column name as varchar default length. This is what we are printing. So let me name the column as varchar default length, which is 30. Default length. And let's try to print this. Is there something wrong? I don't know. Let's execute these statements. So there is some incorrect. Okay. I think brackets are removed and some items are removed. So this is the inner cast function. Why there's a bracket here? No, this is not required. So this is correct, right? So 1 second closed bracket is also required. So this is correct now. So we are taking the data length of this particular output of this function, which was the string text of 30 characters. So the data length would print that 30 is the variable default length. So if I execute this statement, you see in the first select statement, the whatever is stored inside the my variable with the varchar with n value default value as 30. The first whatever is stored in the 30 bytes of data got printed over here. And if we take the data length of this string, the resultant string, it is coming as 30, which indicates that the default value of the n, if it is used inside cast or convert function, is 30. That is indicated by this data length function. All right, let me print some more select statements over here. So far we have used the cast function. Let's try to use the convert function. So basically cast and convert are same, only the syntax are a little different. Now let me try to convert the variable which is storing the 30. So this is little different. So by default, this variable is declared of varchar 40. So it is storing the whatever the characters that can be stored in 40 bytes of data will get stored in char. Char will take 30 as the value of n over here because the value of n is not specified over here. And let's try to print this and see what we get. So in the third select statement, we get the string, whatever can be fit within the 30 bytes of storage. That much string is printed, a subset, which is a subset of the string. And let's try to print the data length of this char. Again, we will get 30 as the data length. So I can copy this off the data length function, and let's try to take the argument as the above function, which will convert the my variable into char with the default length of n equal to 30. So I've taken this, converting this, and yeah, and we can take it as the column name using the as statement. Let's make this. This is char default length, right? It's not even varchar or it's basically the default length of n, not char default length. Although I'm putting the column name as that. It is basically the default value of n will get which will get printed via the data length function. By default, if the n is not specified within any of the cast and convert functions, the value of n assumes to be 30. By default, it takes the value of n to be 30. Now let's print. So we got 30 as the value, which is the default value of n. So we are doing this practicals basically to show you by default it takes the value of n as 30 if you don't specify anything within the brackets. So here we have just used varchar without any brackets and specifying the value of n. Similarly, in other places we have also done the same, right? And we have shown you how you can use the cast and convert functions as well. Basically the syntax is little different, but yeah, both the function perform the same thing. Now we are done with this demo 2, and let's move to demo 3, where we'll convert data for display purposes. So we will take an example, basically the example I'm sharing right now, which is basically convert data for display purposes. And this example will convert two columns to character types and applies a style that applies a specific format to the displayed data. A money type is converted into character data and style 1 is applied. Let me show you practically because I don't think so you will get the theory. Execute this statement to clear this data off. Let's trigger a new query altogether. Don't save it. Trigger a new query. So let's use the AdventureWorks database quickly over here, AdventureWorks 2022. Let's select some columns. Let's first do select. So within this AdventureWorks 2022 database, we have a table called sales.salesperson. So we can write the statement. There's a table with the name salesperson. And guys, you should have this database, which is AdventureWorks 2022 installed in your database in order to perform this practical. If you don't know how to install this database, you can search online for the instruction, or there is also one of my videos which also demonstrate this, how you can install the AdventureWorks 2022 database. If you haven't watched that video, please go ahead and do so if you want to install the AdventureWorks 2022 database. Now this database has a table called sales.salesperson. I'm selecting some data out of that. So this is the data. We got like 17 rows within this table. Now let's try to format this data. So we don't need all of the columns. The first column I need is business entity ID. So remove the star and put the business entity ID. Just remove the star. Business entity ID. This is the first column we need. Second column we need is the sales TYD. This is the column YTD. This is the column we require. And let's try to take some values using the conversions. So let's try to use the convert function. And we first need to specify the data type. Let's try to take varchar 12 as the data type, where the value of n is 12. And if we see the content of sales YTD, these are these decimal numbers. You see it here, right? And what we are doing is we are trying to convert these numbers into the corrected data. So this is the, what is this? This is the decimal data. You can check the data type of this column as well if you expand on this database, and finally tables if you expand into. Let's check the data type of this sales.ytd table. And this particular column sales YTD, the table is definitely sales.salesperson. So let's try to locate the table sales.salesperson. So this is the table we have located. Check the column data type. So if you expand on columns, it will show you the data type of that particular column. So if we take a look at sales YTD, it's of money type. So here what we are trying to do, this is the money data type, right? And we are trying to convert it into the varchar 12 data type, right? So this is what we are doing in the select statement. So we are converting in the sales YTD. Let's mention it here. We are trying to convert this data, which is decimal data, into varchar 12, and we are applying style over here. So convert function gives you the flexibility to provide a style. We have taken style 1 over here. Let's see what the style 1 is. We will check that in output. So let's take it as money display style 1. So money, this is the column header I'm taking, so you can enclose it within the quotes, otherwise it is not required. If it does not contain any spaces, you can omit the quotes as well. So money display style 1. So styles can be used within the convert function, right? This is what I'm showing you. So this is done. This is okay, and put a comma after this, and let's try to take another column. Here I'm using the get date function, so put get date over here. Get date gives you the current system date. Put brackets like this, and let's take it as the current date, and the column header is current date, will be current date. All right, we have taken the column, put a comma. Let's take another column. Here again I will use the convert function, but this time what I will do, I will use a different style, right? And what I will do, first of all, I have converted the decimal data into the varchar 12 type. Now what I will do, I will convert the date data, which can be obtained using the get date function. I will convert this get date data into the varchar 12 type. So let me put varchar 12 over here with the value of n equal to 12. So varchar 12 specifies the value of n, and let's try to convert the get date function. You can put it like this, and we would like to convert it into style 3, and we can take the column header as date display style 3 and style 3, right? So this is what we are printing, and basically we are also specifying the where condition to filter out some rows. So here I'm specifying, again I'm doing some conversion using the cast function, not the convert function. So let's use cast over here, and I'm taking this column. First we are trying to convert this column, so we are casting the sales YTD column, right? In the where clause to we need to use the as parameter, and whatever we are trying to convert it into, we are converting into the value varchar 20, right? So this is the conversion happening in the where clause, and let's take and let's use the operator like to give us all the values which are like starting with 1, so that can be expressed as this. So whatever values are starting with this, like this value is starting with 1 and this value is starting with 1, this condition will give us values like those. And sales YTD is money data, and we are first converting it into varchar 20, and then comparing that data. After the conversion, we are comparing that data with this particular string. So whatever values starting with 1 should taken as the filter criteria, and we should get the output. And those values will get converted as per these functions as well. Whatever data is selected with the where clause, the output of the columns will finally be on that data. The conversion will happen on that data. All right, let's try to convert the values. Execute the statement. So we get only a subset of rows because we have used this function. So whatever rows where the sales YTD is starting with 1, we got those values as displayed in this column. Whatever values are starting with 1, we got it using this particular where clause. So there are only 7 matching rows fulfilling this criteria. And first we have printed the business entry ID. Sales YTD is printed in the second column, and in third column we have tried to convert the sales YTD, which is money data. We have tried to convert it into varchar 12, right? And printed it with the style value of 1. So it is printed the data like this. So the original data does not contain any columns. So if we convert it into style 1, it basically puts the comma in that data and take only 2 digits after the decimal point. So this is style 1 basically, or the convert function, and we are converting the decimal data. Now next we have taken get date, which has simply printed the current date time when the query was executed. And if we try to convert this date time into the style 3, we are converting the get data into varchar 12. So what we got is, if we use the style 3, it will print date in this format. And we have taken the column name as date display style 3, right? Okay, so if you print the date data like with the style 3 using the convert function, the date will display like this. So these functions are useful if you want to print date in a particular style, or if you want to print the money data in a particular style. You can do so using the convert and cast function with the styles 1 and 3. Please remember these, or you can also take a snapshot of this code if you want to use these functions in your project to display data in a specified format. So here the date data is in DD YY format. Now this demo is done, and let me take you to another demo. We have already surpassed the 30 minutes limit, but yeah, let me cover these demos. So demo third is done, and this is the last demo I'm covering in this video. In my next video, I will start off with nchar and varchar, and varchar data. I will cover these two topics, nchar and varchar. All right, so let's continue our demo, which is demo 4, where we are converting the unique identifier data. Let's cover demo 4. Let me take you to SQL Server quickly. Let's rub off this, and let me declare a variable over here. Here I'm taking my ID as the variable, and I'm declaring it to be of type unique identifier, right? This is a data type within SQL Server, and I'm using the new ID function, which basically generates the new ID for us. And this function will generate a new ID and assign the value of that ID to this variable, which is of unique identifier data type, right? And let's try to print. You need to use the select statement to print. So let's try to use the convert function over here. So let's try to convert it into char 255. We're taking char 255. The value of n can be from 1 to 8000. So I'm taking char data type of 255 bytes of data can be stored here. And I'm trying to print the value of my ID. by converting it to cat 255 type, and the original type of this variable is unique identifier. So we are trying to convert the unique identifier value into a cat 255 data type by using this convert function. We are not using any styles over here, so just close the bracket and take the column header as char. Let's see what gets printed for the unique identifier. Right, let's try to execute this statement. So this char has printed the unique identifier which was generated using this function. So in the 255 bytes of data, this much string is printed. Now let's modify it a little bit. Let's try to declare another variable. You can write the statement just below that. So declare a variable called id and take it as n varchar type, and let's take max as the value. Max is generally used basically if you want to store the string which is greater than 8000 bytes. So I've taken max over here, although we are not storing that big string into this. So, and n varchar is basically to store the Unicode data. So if you are declaring declaring a variable of n varchar type, the constant should be preceded with the n keyword, which is a capital N. And let's put the name of let's put some identifier into this, right? Maybe I can take this. Let's take a copy of this. Take a copy of this like this, and let's close the quotes and put keyword wrong after that within the string. I've put wrong inside that. I'm storing this Unicode value into the variable id, which is declared of type n varchar max. So it can definitely store this string. Now let's try to print the string. So yes, let's use the select statement and try to first print the id as n varchar max data type, and let's try to convert this data as well. So I'm trying to print the variable as is, and also I'm trying to convert the data and trying to print it. So converting into unique identifier. So id is of n varchar data type max, and I'm trying to convert the data into unique identifier, but I have make some changes into the data, so it shouldn't get stored into the unique identifier data type, or maybe some truncation will occur. So let's try to convert the value of id, which is of n varchar max data type, into the unique identifier data type. So this is how you specify that in the convert function. And here some truncation will occur because the unique identifier will store value till this point. The wrong will get truncated. So let's see what we'll get. So I will print it as truncated value because the value will definitely get truncated. So let's take it as truncated value as the column header. All right, let's try to execute this statement. All right, so ignore the first example that I've already shown you. So first set of statement is basically taking a variable of unique identifier type, and we are getting the value of new unique identifier using the new id function, and this value is getting assigned to my id type, and we are converting the unique identifier data type into char 255 data type and printing that. So we got this id printed, which is okay. In the next function, I'm specifying a variable id as n varchar max data type, and I'm storing a value which is a string basically indicating some type of unique identifier, but I've put a wrong keyword towards the end of the string, and I'm trying to convert this n varchar max value into the unique identifier value and trying to print it. First I'm trying to print the id as is, and then showing you the conversion and getting that printed. So if we try to convert the n varchar max data into unique identifier, some truncation will occur. So you see the original value of id is this, which got printed using this. It consists of keyword wrong, but if you try to perform the conversion into unique identifier, you will see that part is omitted. The value is taken till C9 and the wrong keyword got truncated. All right. So basically what we are trying to show you, truncation will occur if you're trying to convert the n varchar max data type into the unique identifier data type. Alright, so what is valid for the unique identifier? It will only store that. Rest of the values it will truncate. And if the value is not appropriate, it will not store anything. For example, if I just take wrong as the value, I don't think so it will store anything, because for unique identifier variable, the wrong value is not correct, right? Let's try to execute this statement. You got the error, right? Because conversion cannot happen for keyword wrong, right? So that's why it's not wrong is not a valid value for a unique identifier data type. That's why we got the error. All right. I hope you get the concept, and this concludes our video. So in today's video, what we will discuss is we have discussed about the conversion of character data, what happens during the conversion. We have talked about that. We have talked about various type of conversions, what will happen. And finally, we have shown you 4 demos, like how to print the default value of n when used in the variable declaration. Second demo was how to print the default value of n when the varchar is used with the cast and convert functions. And third demo was on styling the date data, and another example I've shown you how to convert the money data as well using a different style using a convert function. And finally, we have covered the demo 4 where we have shown you the conversion into and from unique identifier data, both. So I hope you like the practicals. In my next video, I will cover the nchar and nvarchar data type. So stay in tune. And I hope next video will cover all the stuff. Maybe not all the stuff. Maybe 2 more videos are required. I will try to cover it in next video. But yeah, if 2 videos are required, I will make 2 videos on covering the complete content of string and binary data types. In next video, we will discuss about nchar and nvarchar data types. So I hope you like this video, guys. If you really like this video, please click on the like button coming below this video. And also, guys, if you are new to this channel or if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. You can do so. There's a subscribe button coming below this video. You can click on that subscribe button. It will give you a bell icon. Click on that bell icon. It will give you option like all notifications. Select all notifications to get notifications regarding all my future videos and upcoming videos. And this will also include videos that I'm creating on string and binary data type these days. So definitely you need to subscribe. So I'm giving you 5 seconds. Please go ahead and subscribe right away. So guys, I hope you must have a subscriber now. So do post in your comments, guys, and also share this video with your friends. We eagerly wait for your comments, so do post in your comments, guys. And yeah, also share this video with your friends. And I thank you so much for your time on this video. And you have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you, guys. Guys, in case you want to make any donations or offerings to us via UPI, then you may scan the code on the right hand side to make the payment. You can use any of the UPI based apps like Google Pay or PhonePe. So there's a code given on the right hand side, which is my GPay code. You can scan that code using any of your UPI apps and make payments to us, basically to support our channel. Else, the other way, if you want to make donations, is to go to the following link, which is a topmate.io link. You can type this link as is in your browser like Google Chrome or Edge and press enter. After that, it will take you to my topmate.io page. Through that page, you can make donations to us as well. And also, guys, in case you want to contact us, you can contact us on my email address, which is vermavane@gmail.com. You can contact us for the below requirements, which are given here on the right hand side. In case you need a copy of notes for any of the topics discussed during the video, you can send me an email on my email address. A nominal fee has to be paid if you want to obtain notes for any particular topic. It depends upon how lengthy the notes are. The fee will be decided according to that. So in case you need a copy of the notes, do send me an email on my email address. The other requirement for which you can contact me is to schedule one-on-one calls with me, which will be paid calls. So in case you want to schedule one-on-one calls with me, you can send an email to me so that I will help you in scheduling one of the calls. And in case you want to get SQL Server Coaching, you can also contact me on my email address. Some of the other requirements are if you need coaching on any particular SQL topic, or if you need some analysis of Transact-SQL code, or if you want to collaborate for any content creation or brand promotion, you can definitely send us an email on my email address, and I will respond back to you.